Hey everyone, Dan here. We are after market close on Wednesday, July 28th. We're going to take our daily look at SoFi. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you construe them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work, and come into your own conclusions based on that information. All right, so SoFi had a nice little over 3% run up today on relatively low volume, which to me is sort of okay at this point. I would like to see the big bump in volume because that buy volume is going to be a big part of the way that we claw back and work ourselves through even these initial retracement periods that we've come down from. And so that to me is sort of like as we can claw these back and sort of start to plot ourselves possibly some extension levels, that'll be better. We can finally get ourselves out of this retracement situation and move on to greener pastures. But for the time being, these are holding up relatively well in conjunction with that purple bounce zone that we had charted. And so the extent to which we can continue this uptrend, breaking this most recent downtrend, not to mention the much more painful downtrend of the last month, then we can potentially start to have some sort of faith that a trend reversal is actually occurring. And we'll take a look at some of the indicators that might be pointing to that same sort of outcome in a moment. Now, I would just say, and I know this is, I don't know, the parent in me or something, but if you recall, it was probably after this big green day that we had here. Yeah, that day that was like almost 10% or whatever. And I had said after that, and a bunch of people got, really, I don't know if angry is the right word, but very vocal in the comments about how bearish sounding my video was. But I had just said, and I will say it again because I think that it's true, don't get overly confident or overly comfortable by having a green day or two. There's a lot of space to claw back here. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot more to come from SoFi, which we'll see in a few minutes when we talk about all the speculation and rumors that are suddenly flooding SoFi's world. And there's going to be ups and downs. And as we saw after that big green day, we actually retraced and came back down below the lows that we were at that at market open that day. Sorry guys, if I'm a little jittery or wonky today. I woke up feeling quite ill today, so I'm kind of trying to power through it, trying to put on a brave face here, but I'm certainly a little woozy, or more woozy than usual. And but I'm going to do my best for you here. But apologies if it's a little there's some cracks in the foundation today. But anyway, just knowing that we had that big run up, and then we over the course of the subsequent several days lost all of it plus some more, and now we're working ourselves back from that. Let's not lose sight that that's what happened in the last run up, and obviously that's not the situation that I want to be in, but this is just to say I don't want to see folks get overly exuberant just from some good buying pressure in a short period of time and thinking that sort of like we're out of the muck, because I think there's a lengthy time frame ahead in which we will encounter many things to overcome. So let's see what happens. But overall, I would like to see that volume bump up quite a bit on these green days and just sort of prove that there's not only the potential for us to move back up, but there is also a significant amount of volume that is coming into SoFi as buying pressure. Now, that said, we'll get into that later. But right now, we're sort of like settling ourselves in between this 100% and 78.6 retracement levels. And, be sort of interested to see if we can flip this 1549 to support tomorrow or the following day, or if we end up kind of range bound here. And if we do, I'll talk about probably on Friday or so, if we end up range bound in here, kind of what we could look for next week. If that is the case. Now, I would rather see us continue to claw up, obviously, and work ourselves toward that 1601 zone. I think that that's pretty attainable here in the coming days. But, obviously, we will see. Now, on the indicator side of things, let's pop ourselves out to the year to date on our daily, and we've been tracking the MACD is what I've been most closely watching, and it still is struggling to really commit to sort of the dying down or the killing off of this bearish momentum, and then really settling in and flipping to some bullish momentum. Now, keep in mind this is on the daily, so it's contending with all of this tremendous sell-off that we had to endure here. So just keep that in mind. That's why it's taking longer to flip. Obviously, if you go into the 5-day, 5-minute chart, you will see several flips into bullish momentum. We do see here toward the end of the day, there was a nice kick up there. So it didn't actually curl down and have a bearish crossover. It bounced off of the signal line, came up, and is now curling down a bit. Now, the reason that I'm wondering if we're going to end up range bound for the next couple of days is because you see the MACD coming down. Every time it's making a high, it's coming down lower. So I'm wondering if this is going to continue to die off in terms of the bullish momentum. Now, the thing that I would look for if that were to happen would be that the bearish momentum does not really get a chance to pick up steam. If that's the case, then we could see not only some potential sideways action keeping us between like this 15 and 1550 mark, but could give us the best opportunity to have our next bullish push and jump ourselves up and get support over that 1550 level. So definitely not me saying that I want it to be range bound, but there's some indications here that this most recent bullish push could be dying down. But again, that's a short-term thing, so we'll see what happens in the coming days. On the MAs, on the shorter term time frame, a little bit of bobbing and weaving today, but most recently having a bullish crossover here. The 200 now nicely under for additional support. Now on the daily, what this looks like is kind of a mess because of this fib, but we do see a bearish crossover still here from the 20 sliding itself underneath the 50, and so that's sort of like the question that I have. Can we get some strength going there, and will this MACD just finally complete its bullish crossover and move? You see it's signaling it right there. This is the one that I've been keeping an eye on and really waiting for to see when the move is going to come and what it's going to yield, right? That's always the question. I think that's fine for the chart, actually. Let's flip over to some of the sort of non-charting stuff that's been happening. So a few things been going on that have sort of been keeping folks' eyebrows raised over the last few days. So this came on the 26th of July. This person, I guess, is a pretty significant influencer. And I think particularly with crypto. That's my understanding. I don't know. I don't follow the person, but I had seen this come across in a few different places. And, this is from 2 days ago. So whatever this is, I don't know. My understanding, again, from just things that I've read online, I don't know that this is 100% true or not, that SoFi is partnering with this person to do some influencing. So, potentially hear from SoFi. Let's see what this is. Let's see what the slash pomp is. Is this just a... Oh, okay. So the exclusive partner app of the Best Business Show. So he has the show that he does. I don't know where he does it, but there you go. That's what it is. So anyway, he had popped in here and mentioned this. So who knows what that means? Hopefully, if he has this strong influence and is kind of building that off of his reputation, he's not just kind of floating things out there that aren't going to come to pass relatively soon. Now, last night, so it's last night, right? Yeah. Late last night, well, late for me with the kids, this post came out and started to raise a bunch of eyebrows. Now, Gemini, if you're not familiar, is New York-based. The Winklevoss twins, they're providing cryptocurrency exchange, digital currency exchange custodian that allows customers to buy, sell, and store digital assets. It's a New York trust company that is regulated by New York DFS, founded in 2014. Right, and there's been sort of speculation and questions along the way about the Winklevoss twins wanting to take Gemini public, and questions about whether they would go the traditional route or it seems as though there's a possibility that they would have to go the SPAC route at this point. They wanted to go in at this point anyway. But I believe at the time in which Coinbase was not yet public, there was a lot of speculation about who would go public first and via what route. So obviously Coinbase won that race. But, this obviously a really interesting post that then pretty quickly was followed up by additional speculation across the board. I also think that this is funny, the Kramer curse for now. But let's hope we don't have the Kramer curse. But folks started talking about and sharing around links, talking about the bank charter, and these are filed. You can find these on the Federal Reserve sites, and there's a filing that predates this, where it basically has this language that you see here: SoFi Technologies Inc., Social Finance Inc., and Gemini Merger Sub Inc. Now, Gemini Merger Sub Inc. in the prior filing does not appear. So this is a new addition to the filing that exists here. But they're talking about to become bank holding companies by acquiring 100% of Golden Pacific Bancorp. So that's what we've been talking about. I think the expectation there is a decision coming down in November. And so then sort of speculation started to fly. What is this Gemini merger sub? Is that Gemini that we see here? Could they then be partnering or acquiring or doing what have you with Gemini in order to offer currency exchange, wallets, what's going on here? So that's sort of then what set the rumor mill all aflutter. Now, if we look at what SoFi currently has on their support site, can I transfer my crypto holdings between SoFi Invest and an external wallet? No. There's a reason why. Security. This means that your crypto assets are not held in a wallet and are offered as an investment only. In the future, we may consider adding the ability to transfer crypto into or out of your SoFi Invest account, but it isn't a planned feature at this time. That was 2 months ago. So who knows what that means. The other one that I thought could be interesting to look at is, never mind. This is my sick brain sort of working through the fog. But anyway, you see here, there's certainly some limitations with SoFi and the crypto options that they currently offer, whereas Gemini is offering this full digital currency exchange and the ability for wallet. Now, if you go to my video from last night and just look at the comments, you'll see there a frequent commenter who often has like great questions and great ideas of his own, Josh Galt. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but pardon me, Josh, if I'm not. But you'll see there a short thread that we have, and Josh speculates on some of the potential upside that could be seen from SoFi if it were to, do this bank charter with Gemini in some way, shape, or form. How that actually plays out is sort of like a question of corporate governance and potential M&A. But he lays out sort of like the possibilities of what they could offer if that were to go down, and then also he talks about if he's sort of speculating on whether or not some of the sell-off that we saw was because there's potentially some dilution coming, depending on how they're planning to work together, and how that would exactly go down. Like, would there be an acquisition that was made? Would there be further dilution because of the situation that they sort of structure to be able to accomplish these things? But feel free to have a look at that. Like I said, he has some interesting thoughts there. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is if we go look here, and I think that this is pretty important, and I'm sure folks are talking about it, but I see a lot of rumors about Gemini, and then it's just immediately Gemini Crypto, yada, yada, yada. I don't know that we know that this is this Gemini, right? This is called Gemini Merger Sub Inc. Now, I don't know if it's potentially because SoFi doesn't want to have the bank charter and the become a bank holding company by acquiring 100% of Golden Pacific Bancorp as SoFi. Like, maybe they need or they would like to set up a shell company in order to accomplish that. And that could be potentially what Gemini Merger Sub is. So in other words, maybe something else has come out today. I sort of prepped this stuff this morning, and I'm just now reopening the tabs. But the question to me is, how do we know that that is this? I mean, I understand the quick reactiveness to, oh wow, Gemini, that would be awesome, that would be super cool, right? There's a lot of things that we're hoping for, that the longer term SoFi bulls are hoping for, bank charter obviously being one of them, earnings that are coming up, and then obviously the slew of dominoes that could fall in SoFi's order. And so that could fall for SoFi in order for them to be successful in the grand vision, in the broader scheme of things, that what they're trying to accomplish with this one-stop shop. And so I think that folks are kind of running with that. I mean, also this, obviously, if this person is correct and what they're saying is true, then it seems to be probably a no-brainer. They don't specifically say it either, I guess, but I'm not sure what else it would be. But I would just keep that in mind. Gemini Merger Sub Inc., not 100% sure what that is. It also says all of San Francisco, and this Gemini is headquartered in New York and is regulated by NYDFS. So that to me wouldn't really fit the bill, but potentially because this is Golden Pacific Bank Corp of Sacramento, potentially they then have to set up some subsidiary or some formation of an entity that is located in California, and that's what that is. I don't know. But I would just keep in mind that until some of these things are verified by another route, I would just say I don't see the confirmation yet that this Gemini Merger Sub is actually this company, Gemini. But definitely interesting things unfolding. It's nice, honestly, it's nice to see things like this and things like this pop up, and then all of the hubbub around this. To me, that just is further confirmation that there's a lot of interest in what's going on with SoFi. There's a lot of folks that are waiting and really excited to see how all of these things roll out in the future as SoFi builds toward this grand vision that they have. And it'll be interesting to see how they execute on it, and as the pieces fall into place, exactly what they are. But yeah, more to come on that front. I did want to mention also, I know I've been pretty slow getting back to almost anyone in the comments. The comments have gotten really crazy, just meaning numbers wise, and I don't have as much time as I would hope to go through them. Previously when there was just a dozen or so comments a day, it was much easier. Now, and again, I'm very thankful for this, there's just a ton more of activity. So I apologize if I'm really slow in responding to you, or if I don't get back to you at all. Certainly if you have tickers that you'd like me to cover, feel free to keep posting them on different videos. I might just see them, today, and you had posted it 3 days ago and I didn't see that. So just keep that in mind. I do my best. There's also a lot of folks who are expressing a wide range of opinions there, and I don't care at all if people disagree with me, if people despise me because of the horrendous videos that I'm putting out. I mean, they can express their opinion there all that they want. I don't delete the comments. The only comments that I report are actual spam comments. You can spot those pretty easily with the phone numbers and the emails and the links that go to spammy websites. But I don't delete anyone's comments. So if folks want to express themselves there, I welcome people to go dig through the comments. You will definitely see all of the people who talk about all the things that I got wrong and all the things that they got right, and ways in which they think differently about X, Y, or Z. I certainly think some folks express themselves better than others, just meaning it's more likely to result in an actual conversation, which I think would be the point, as opposed to just wanting to be, I don't know, nasty and a hater, or whatever it is that is going on in people's heads. I don't know, but definitely go through there, because you will get your range. You'll get your range there. And in a world where I've said this several times, I don't want anyone blindly following anyone. That's not just me. It's anyone. It's this guy on StockTwits, right? It's this guy on Twitter. It's anyone. I don't think that you do yourself any service by blindly following anyone. So to the extent to which you can accumulate all the different ideas and opinions and then come to your own decisions based on a wide range of what you're hearing and understanding, I think that in the long run, you will be best served by that, because you will be able to dig through and analyze and assess information, completely independent from anyone else, because you never know when someone's going to disappear, when something's going to happen to someone and they're just no longer around, or maybe they're just no longer interested in doing whatever it is that they're doing that's allowing you to get information from them. So just keep in mind that if you're relying on someone, that person could just kind of disappear at any time for no good reason, and you want to have built your own skill sets and your own resources and capabilities so that you can forge ahead still from a standpoint of strength. All right, I gotta go rest and try to recoup a little bit, but I hope that you had a nice trading day. I assume the folks that are watching this video did have a nice trading day, but I know that this is on the backs of a bunch of pain, and so we'll see what the days ahead bring. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.